Mic check, good. Hey guys, it's Planet Discus Fish Tank, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, I do videos on mostly discus and plants, but I also keep other fish, discus tank mates, and most recently crayfish. Oh wait, lights turned off. Automatic, sorry, gotta do that again. So in this video I wanted to follow up on the crayfish video. So 2 videos ago I showed you how I destroyed my planted tank, the Dutch tank, by putting crayfish in it. And I must admit, it was an impulse buy. The crayfish looked really good at the PetSmart. The electric blue crayfish, they're very beautiful, and I wanted to try them out. And I tried them out, not doing my due diligence, not doing my full research, I admit. And so in this new video, I'm going to try to redeem myself by creating a new aquascape for the crayfish. And yes, it's going to be a planted aquascape. But first, I guess I should update you on the status of the jumbo discus. They are in quarantine still. I got about a week left. And I did get a pair. So 2 of the blue diamonds paired up, and they're starting to clean the breeding cone. So I separated those 2 into their own tank. And hopefully, yeah, they start spawning and hatching fry. So I'll definitely follow up on the jumbo discus and the quarantine. I'm going to put most of them in this big tank. That way they can try to partner up, and they'll have bigger space to roam, and it's hard for them to pair up in the small quarantine tank. So okay, so let's get to the aquascape for the crayfish. So I went back to my local fish store to buy a fish tank. I had originally planned to buy used, but I didn't find a good deal in the time frame that I was looking at. So here is a 75-gallon tank that I bought. I like the 75-gallon. It's big enough to house a lot of fish, and it's small enough that I can lift it around and manhandle it. So here we're back in my fish room. I found another corner where I could fit this tank. It's between my furnace on the left and the heating oil tank on the right, the big red tank on the right. So I'll cover that up eventually. I'll also cover up the back. So we're going to start by drilling a hole for the overflow. So I drill all my tanks so that I can automate the water changes and also install a sump filter. Here I've added the plumbing on the right, which will go straight to my drain. And here I'm adding egg crate to the bottom of the tank. And this is to protect the tank from all the hardscape that I'm going to put on it. So speaking of hardscape, I found this driftwood a couple weeks ago at my local stream. It's a nice hardwood that's been weathered for a while, and I thought it'd be a perfect background for this crayfish tank. It's shaped a little bit like a horse head. So here it is in the tank. It fits nicely. It's about 3 feet long, about 18 inches high, and it covers most of the background, so perfect for this aquascape. So to prep this driftwood, I soaked for about 2 weeks. Of course, it was already sinking because it's hardwood and it's been weathered for a while. And I also sprayed with hydrogen peroxide, and that is to kill all the microorganisms and any pathogens that might be living in it. So in addition to the driftwood, I also collected rocks from our local stream, and I was looking for marble type of rocks, and the marble that we have here locally is yellow orange in color. So here I went ahead and boiled the rocks that I collected. I boiled them for about 10 minutes, and that is to kill the microorganisms that might be living on it. So here I'm laying out the heavy rocks before the substrate, and I want to make sure that the rocks are sitting firmly on the base of the tank so that when the crayfish dig into the substrate, the rocks don't shift and potentially kill the crayfish. So the layout of the rocks, I had in mind making a bunch of tunnels and a bunch of caves for the crayfish to hide in, especially when they're molting. But I also wanted to make it look natural, so I was kind of trying to find a balance between, generating caves as well as making it look natural. So now I want to show you the plant that I'm going to use. I mentioned this was going to be a planted crayfish tank. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. This here is a lucky bamboo plant, also known as Dracaena bruni, I believe. The lucky bamboo is not a true aquatic plant. It actually grows immersed. So I bought these from buyluckybamboo.com. They are 18-inch long stalks, and I bought 20 of them for $2 a piece. So if we look closely at these lucky bamboo stalks, they're about 1 inch in diameter, and they're pretty hard. So I would think that crayfish won't even try to eat them, and if they do, it'll take forever to cut them down. And I would think that crayfish would prefer algae wafers or regular fish. So here I'm going to put organic soil in small pots that I made from plastic bottles. There's about 1.5 inches of potting mix, and I'm going to put some Osmocote fertilizer in there. And now I'm going to put 5 of the stalks of the lucky bamboo, and I'm going to use gravel to hold them up. Putting the bamboo in these pots does 2 things. Number 1, it'll hold the bamboo upright. I'm able to shift them around as I figure out the kind of design and layout that works best. And second, it protects the roots of the bamboo from the crayfish who like to dig and eat whatever they can. So with the plastic around it, the crayfish won't be able to get to the roots. So now I'm going to add the gravel. I bought pea gravel from Home Depot, and I'm going to put about 4 inches at the back and about 1 inch in the front. I'm also going to slope from right to left, maybe 6 inches in the back right corner, all the way to 1 inch to the front left corner. Now over the gravel, I'm going to put some coarse sand. This is all-purpose sand from Home Depot as well. It's very dusty. It's a cheap sand. And I'm going to put about 2 inches in the back and about 1 inch of sand in the front. Now I'm going to go ahead and rinse it here in the tank. So this is where a drilled tank comes in handy. I can let the water overflow overnight at a slow rate, and by morning the water is pretty clear, as you can see here. Now I'm going to take the hang-on back filter that I seeded from the 75-gallon Dutch tank, and I'm going to go ahead and install it on the crayfish tank. So this way I don't have to wait weeks for the tank to cycle. I can essentially put the crayfish in there in 24 hours. So I decided to add a couple of neon red crayfish. Crayfish have such great personalities that I had to get more. So that's it, guys. I've learned a lot about crayfish over the last couple of weeks. Thank you for watching, and we'll keep you updated on discus and now crayfish as well. I'll see you next time.